Have you ever just stopped and thought about how the human body, this incredibly complex machine, actually gets built? Well, today we're going to take that exact journey. We're starting with a fundamental code that makes you, you, and following it all the way to the person you see in the mirror. I mean, we all know what we look like on the outside, right? But what is going on just under our skin? What kind of amazing architecture and machinery is running the show, letting us move and think and live? That's what we're about to find out. Okay, so first things first, we need to get our heads around the idea that the way we study anatomy has totally changed. We've moved way beyond those old static drawings from dissections. Now we can see the body for what it truly is, a dynamic living system. And this quote from Professor Alice Roberts just nails it. She talks about living anatomy. New technology lets us see the body not as just a collection of parts in a textbook, but as this functioning, integrated, glorious whole. And this is exactly what she's talking about. Look at this. These aren't just drawings. They're MRI scans, slices of a living, breathing person. This tech lets us peel back the layers and see these incredibly intricate systems actually at work, in real time. This living view is going to be our guide today. So, every great construction project needs a plan, right? An architect's blueprint. To understand the final structure, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. And for the human body, that blueprint is written in a powerful and unbelievably tiny code. It's called DNA, and it is the master blueprint for pretty much all life on Earth. It has all the instructions needed to build the thousands of different proteins that make up our skin, our hair, our organs, literally everything. So this is ground zero. Our whole construction project kicks off right here with this iconic double helix. You can think of it like a spiraling ladder that holds the secret code to life itself. But here's where it gets kind of mind-bending. If you took the DNA from just one single cell in your body and stretched it all the way out, it would be over 6 feet long. That's taller than a lot of people. Which naturally brings up a huge engineering challenge. How in the world do you cram a 6.5-foot-long molecule into a space so microscopic you can't even see it? Well, the solution is just brilliant. First, that super long strand of DNA gets wrapped around these tiny protein spools called histones. It's exactly like winding thread onto a spool to keep it all neat, organized, and compact. But it doesn't stop there. Those spools then get coiled up again and again, packed tighter and tighter until they form these dense, X-shaped things we call chromosomes. Now here's the really cool part. This intense packing isn't just for storage. It's actually a control system. By keeping parts of the blueprint tightly wound up, the cell can control which genes get read and which ones don't. It's how genes are turned on and off. And the sheer scale of this blueprint is just staggering. Every single one of your cells holds a copy of this code, and it's made of about 3 times billion chemical base pairs. It's like an enormous library of information, and it's all packed into that tiny space. Okay, so we've got the plans, an incredibly detailed set of instructions. But how do we get from a chemical code to the physical reality of a human body? What's the next step? Well, this brings us to the next level. We're moving from the architect's office to the factory floor. We are entering the world of the cell. This is where those DNA blueprints get read and where the very first components get built, turning all that abstract information into the real stuff that will build everything else. The answer is the cell. The DNA's instructions are used to build these incredible, complex units. Each one is like its own tiny city, with power plants, transportation networks, and a central command center. This is the fundamental building block of life. And we're not just made of a few of them. The average human body is an assembly of trillions of these microscopic little factories, all working together, all built from that one original blueprint. Trillions. All right, now that we have our basic building blocks, our cells, it's time for the next phase of construction. We need to see how these trillions of individual parts organize themselves into the large-scale structures we'd actually recognize as a body. And there's a really clear, logical hierarchy to how this all gets assembled. You start with cells. Cells group together to form tissues. Tissues combine to create organs, and then organs work together in big, interconnected body systems. Let's see how that plays out. So first up, similar cells join forces. For instance, a whole bunch of muscle cells will line up to form muscle tissue, basically a unified sheet of fibers that are all designed to contract together. This is that first major step up in scale. Next, you take these different tissues and you start building with them. That muscle tissue we just saw might combine with nerve tissue and connective tissue to form a specific functional organ, like one of the muscles in your face that lets you smile or frown. And then at the very top level, these individual organs team up to form entire systems. The brain, the spinal cord, that huge network of nerves, they all come together to form the nervous system. This is the body's master control network, coordinating everything from your heartbeat to your thoughts. So, we've gone from the molecular code to the cellular building block, and from basic tissues all the way up to these massive integrated systems. Now it's time to put it all together and see the final, absolutely breathtaking result. And here it is, the complete, functioning human being. Every single system, the skeleton giving us a frame, the muscles creating movement, the nervous system directing it all, they don't just exist next to each other. They are deeply, beautifully integrated, working in perfect concert. You know, when you think about it, the journey from a single 6-foot-long strand of DNA to a body made of trillions of cells, it's one of the most incredible construction projects in the universe. And it really leaves you with one final thought. If this is what we already know, what amazing secrets about our own bodies are we still yet to uncover?